Hubbell House is a supper club. We are trying to go at the fine dining experience.
Been here since 1854, been in the same building since 1856. Started as a stagecoach stop back then. At that point, everyone thought that St. Peter was going to be the capital of Minnesota. Obviously, it ended up being St. Paul. But at that point, Mantorville was kind of a good stopping point in between La Crosse, Winona, and St. Peter.
The founder was John Hubbell, and that is his last name. 1854, it was a 2-story log stone structure, and that actually burnt down and was rebuilt into the 3-story limestone structure in 1856, which is what still stands today. In 1957, the second addition was added on. In 1946 is when the Pappas family took over. But prior to that, it was my great-grandfather, Walter Stussy, who had actually bought the building during the Great Depression. He would just use the rooms upstairs to house his quarry workers and to give them a job and then a place to live. At one point, the Hubbell House was a bottle club. I mean, that was after Prohibition. Hubbell House is made out of limestone, and that comes from the quarry that is less than a mile away, that is a limestone quarry, that my great-grandfather owned. During the Great Depression, they were gonna tear the Hubbell House down, and he wanted to preserve it and also just found a way to make a dual purpose out of it by housing his quarry workers upstairs. The Hubbell room is the original dining room. That was what was built in 1856, technically. And then attached to that is the wine room, also known as the old lobby. That is where people entered. Up until it was about the 80s, I believe, the current lobby was added on. So a lot of people have fond memories. And then we have the Chiffolius room, also known as our small private room. That was the original kitchen in 1946 when my grandfather opened the restaurant up. Now it's a private dining room that can fit up to 16 people and named after Gus Chiffolius, longtime family friend of the Powers family and the Pappas family. Then we have the Horace Greeley room.
To dedicate a room to the Pappas family, we actually changed that name to the Pappas room. You know, they've been here for so many years that they deserve a room here.
The third addition was the Senator Alexander Ramsey room, which is also known maybe as more of our main dining room. Then was added on our stagecoach bar. And then the stagecoach party room. Walter and Esther Stussy, who originally purchased the Hubbell House building during the Great Depression. Across from them, we have Michael and Mary Pappas. Michael came from Greece. We have the big mural of all the famous Minnesotans. Some have ate here, some have not. We have our big mural in the Pappas room of a replica of kind of what the Hubbell House would have looked like back in the 1800s of the stagecoach days.
Eleni really operates the restaurant. You know, she gets all the credit for what we do here. She's been running it for years, and she knows it inside out. She knows the people of the Mantorville cast and the whole area here. Phenomenal to work with her.
We are so happy that Elena stayed with us. She is just a great asset to our team. She knows everything about the Hubbell House.
I was literally brought home from the hospital here. My parents were living upstairs. I've spent many holidays growing up here, got to play hide and seek, was married here. We're always welcoming. Everyone's always welcomed and invited. From what I'm told, I feel like we're very Greek.
The whole house is absolutely just loved by the people that we see here, you know, coming every night. Virtually every day, I hear from somebody that, you know, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, they had their first date here. They had their wedding dinner here. They had their groom's dinner here. I have people that say we've come here every year for the last 40 years to celebrate our anniversary. That's a very common thing.
Don came to us and he was looking for somebody to keep the legacy alive, and he put all of his eggs in our basket. He thought the Powers family was the family to keep the legacy of the Hubbell House going, and you know, after some talk with the family, we were on board. The rich tradition here, we love quality food, quality service, and they had all that. You know, I call it a little facelift. We didn't do much, honestly. The bar just needed new woodwork, and then all of the change is in the kitchen. New equipment, new floors, new walls. That was 95% of the change of the Hubbell House. Everything else was kept the same.
I don't know that there could be another family that could step into those shoes and take that over.
You know, the Pappas legacy was strong, and it's a lot to live up to. And the Powers family, what they're doing is incredible. Everything they've done, we stand behind. All the renovations, those things needed to be done. We're an old restaurant. They say, why didn't they let the daughter have it? Or, you know, they just took it away from her. No, they didn't. I made the decision with my dad. We just realized it's what was best for the restaurant and the community. The Hubbell House means a lot to Mantorville, and we want it to go on forever. It's been common efforts to definitely maintain the Hubbell House and the town of Mantorville together. There's a great group of people with the Mantorville Restoration Association that just want to make sure that Mantorville and the Hubbell House live on forever, and they really want to bring that history to everyone.
Not only are they great for the history of Mantorville, but they really drive the Mantorville economy. Just a great place to come and have a nice relaxed dinner, meet with some friends. Everything isn't going to be, you know, as fast-paced as maybe the rest of the world is. It's a nice place to step back a little bit and just enjoy some time with family and friends and good food.
The big thing about the Hubbell House too is quality, and we're not going to bring in something that isn't quality.